The first 4 stages of the World Cup Tour, all leading up to the biggest show of the season. Shanghai, Antalya, Medellin, and Wrocław, mere appetizers leading up to the main course, which would be served up in one of the world's most beautiful cities. Paris is a veritable fountain of culture, a city of enduring symbols, a city known for distinctive style, museums, theaters, and architecture. From the Champs-Élysées to the Arc de Triomphe to La Tour Eiffel, there's an iconic landmark everywhere you look. World Archery yearned to bask in the spotlight in this city of light. The shining stars of this sport setting their sights and taking dead aim at the medals, the money, and all the prestige up for grabs. In a city that has seen its share of history, more would be made over the course of 2 days. 2 days that could change the course of an archer's career. 2 days which perhaps could even change the course of someone's life. Which is why the world's best with a bow and arrow worked so hard to reach Paris and turn the French capital into the capital of World Cup archery. The party started with the compound quarterfinals at the Trocadero Fountains. Pascal Lebec representing the host nation in a duel with the always dangerous Albina Loganova from the Russian Federation. Loganova led Lebec by 3 going into the 5th and final end, where Pascal put together a string of 10s to apply some pressure on Albina. The former world champion and World Cup gold medalist would need an 8 to tie, a 9 to win. Having lost in the first round last year in Tokyo, Loganova not about to take any chances, bearing down for a bullseye on her final shot to survive and advance. While Albina's become a well-known name on the World Cup stage, Alejandra Usquiano's just beginning to make a name for herself. The same holds true for her Colombian teammate, Sarah Lopez, who took stage 2 by storm and set a world record at stage 3. But Medellin was where Alejandra emerged from the shadows, winning her own gold medal. The 2 teammates faced off in the quarterfinals, with Usquiano forcing a shoot-off and then forcing the issue with 5 straight bullseyes. When Sarah Lopez landed that shot in the 9 ring, her World Cup dreams were over. Alejandra would continue her journey without her teammate after coming through in the clutch. In 2 short years, Germany's Christina Berger has become a big factor in women's compound. The former national champion pistol shooter would need a lot of ammunition for this quarterfinal showdown with Korea's Suk Ji-hyun, who'd already struck gold in Shanghai, silver in Antalya. The first 5 ends decided nothing, so Suk would have to take her chances in a shoot-off. A 9 left the door open for Christina, but Berger's 9 not as close to the center of the target. The decision finally going to the Korean, who added yet another big name to her list of impressive victories this season. Meanwhile, Sophie Dodemont was not only the crowd favorite, the 40-year-old French archer was also the only competitor in this field to have won an Olympic medal. Before switching to compound, Dodemont had been a member of the French team that captured the recurve bronze medal at the 2008 Summer Games in Beijing. But that would not help her as she battled with Erica Jones of the United States. Dodemont quickly fell behind by 5 after the first end and would eventually fall by 11 to the top-ranked archer in women's compound. Erica putting it on cruise control and coasting to a double-digit victory to advance past the quarterfinals. By avenging a previous loss in Shanghai, Erica relegated Suk Ji-hyun to the women's bronze medal match, where she would have to face another big gun with payback on her mind. Suk Ji-hyun had defeated Albina Loganova way back in May during the Stage 1 semifinals in Shanghai. Those matters are not forgotten at this level of World Cup archery, especially not by someone as competitive as the World Cup gold medalist from 2010. Still stinging from a semifinal setback at the hands of Alejandra Usquiano, Albina was bound and determined to salvage a medal from this trip to Paris. Let's pick up the action with Loganova leading after the first 3 ends. Suk Ji-hyun sticking a 10. Loganova gives up a point. The lead stands at 2. Suk wants another 10, needs another 10, but she'll settle for a 9. Lucky for her, Loganova cannot capitalize. The lead remains at 2. The Korean continues her comeback bid with a bullseye, and she trails by just a single point. A single point because Albina puts another one just off center. Loganova still leads, but Loganova certainly does not have a lock on the bronze medal. After 12 arrows, there's just 1 point separating the reliable Russian and the up-and-comer from Korea. Sok sends a message with her first shot of the 5th end. Message received and answered. Loganova locks in on the center of the target and drills a direct hit. It's on the line, so Loganova still has a 1 point lead. Sok's not about to go down without a fight. Once again, she's right on target, and she might be tied with Albina after Albina leaves some doubt with this shot when she leaves her second shot just outside the center ring. The officials will render a ruling after this end is in the books. Sok needs to keep the pressure on her opponent. After firing a pair of bullseyes, she slips a bit, providing an opportunity for Albina to close out the match. You can't always get what you want, but Loganova gets what she needs, and that means she does get what she wants. A bullseye brings an end to the battle and puts a bronze medal around the neck of Russia's Albina Loganova. The officials would rule her second shot was indeed a 9, so that bullseye did decide the outcome of this match, allowing Albina to avenge her 2-point loss to Sok Ji-hyun 5 months ago in Shanghai at Stage 1. Alejandra Usquiano exceeded all expectations by reaching the gold medal match, all but her own. She had never medaled before this year, and this was her first appearance in a World Cup final. But after beating Sarah Lopez and laying a 4-point loss on Albina Loganova, her confidence was at an all-time high. She would need every bit of self-esteem for this encounter with Erica Jones. The American came in ranked #1 in the world and #1 in the World Cup rankings. This was a woman on a mission after settling for silver on 3 separate occasions. The gold medal eluding Erica so far this season, and she was frustrated. She also held a 5-3 advantage in head-to-head matchups. All that being said, the score was tied after the first 2 ends. Erica bags a bullseye to start Act 3, but there's no let-up in the pressure. Usquiano keeping up with the Joneses, matching shot for shot. Erica comes right back with another bullseye, improving her chances of winning the match and the Longines prize for precision. When Usquiano isn't quite as precise, Erica's got a bit of breathing room, but not much. Not with a 1-point lead, and not for long, not after that 9. Alejandra can pull even again with a 10, and just like that, the match is tied at 85. After the first 9 arrows, both archers have only missed on 5 points. Perfect weather conditions for this match. Blue skies, warm temperatures, no wind, tailor-made conditions for scoring, and Erica takes advantage, starting the 4th end with a bullseye. But try as she might, Jones just can't seem to shake the Colombian. Usquiano keeps the match tied, putting the ball back in Erica's court. She comes through with another big shot. But Alejandra brought her A game, and she's not going away. Back-to-back bullseyes for the 20-year-old from Medellin. Jones finally blinks just a bit. That arrow veers into the 9 ring, giving her challenger a chance to take the lead, but Usquiano can't quite find the range, so she's still in the same boat with Erica Jones. After 4 ends, we're exactly where we were when the match began. With 3 arrows to go, something's got to give, and it does on the first shot by Jones. Now the woman considered the favorite to win this gold medal is vulnerable, and Usquiano exploits Erica's vulnerability. The Colombian now leads by 1 with 2 shots to go. Jones shakes off that first shot, bounces back with a bullseye. Alejandra's relentless, though. She's got the lead and does not want to let go. It's Usquiano by 1 with 1 shot to shoot. Jones desperately needs another 10 to preserve the possibility of winning the gold medal, but unless Usquiano makes a big mistake, that 9 just might have sealed her fate. Alejandra only needs 9 to win, and that 9 is just fine. It's all over, with the match turning on 1 shot to begin the 5th and final end. One couldn't help but feel, though, that this victory might just be the start of something big for Colombia's Alejandra Usquiano, who overcame all obstacles here in Paris, defeating Sarah Lopez, Albina Laganova, and Erica Jones. I believe that in a city as wonderful as Paris, a dream city, we could not have had a better final than this one. While I've been here, I've realized there are no other cities in the world like Paris. At the same time, the competition here was different and unique too. This venue, built by World Archery and the local organizing committee, was very beautiful and well designed. Now, behind every archer stands a coach, teaching, motivating, and inspiring an athlete with just the right words at the right time in a tense situation.
I expect the coach to be supportive, help, but not be overbearing. The coach is making sure I stay focused on task and being there to be supportive. It's more of a second brain to think problems through than someone who's actually giving instruction.
During the process of the competition, a good coach is someone that gives you the force to go on and resolve the problems if you have.
I'm okay with my shoot, it's okay, I don't need anything, but sometimes it's more difficult and it's better when I can hear something positive and to help me push up myself.
What I don't like in my coach in these kind of situations, in like a World Cup final situation, would be to try and actually coach me. And, that's not the kind of thing that us as archers need at this point, I suppose.
The mixed team gold medal match saw Pascal Lebec join forces with Pierre-Julien Deloche. Pascal had performed well in her quarterfinal match against Albina Laganova, and Pierre had pushed Sergio Pagni in their rematch from Poland just a month before. Pierre and Pascal feeling the love from this partisan crowd in Paris. Could they use those positive vibes to pull off an upset? Everything helps when you're facing the most dominant duo in this event. Sergio Pagni and Marcella Tonioli had taken home medals from the first 3 stages, 2 of them gold, 1 of them bronze. And yet they trailed by 2 with 4 arrows to go. Tonioli pulls the trigger and shoots a 9. Pagni picks up his teammate with a bullseye. Deloche eyes the prize and drills a 10. Then it's Lebec, holding up her end of the bargain. It's France by 2 with 2 to go. Tonioli's on target with her final shot. And Sergio follows her lead. It's all up to the French team. Pierre-Julien Deloche starts to shut the door as he scores a direct hit, leaving it to Lebec to do the honors. Let the celebration begin. Pascal putting the final touches on a French masterpiece. In their home country, in front of a grandstand packed with passionate fans, Pascal and Pierre soak up this golden moment, having done what few could accomplish this season. The final score, 157-155. From the first to the last arrow, There was a lot of fun during this final between the Trocadero and the Eiffel Tower. Those are two iconic images for everyone who lives here in France. And singing the Marseillaise was really an emotional experience for us and for a lot of other people too. Could that upset inspire French teammate Dominique Genet? He had his plate full in the quarterfinals with the Wild Man, Rio Wild of the U.S., who defeated Dominique in Colombia this summer en route to a gold medal at Stage 3. And he was numero uno in the world rankings heading to Paris. But this was not vintage Rio Wild, the 9 reflecting his discomfort. Rio recording a surprising number of wild shots, falling behind by 3 and then falling by 3 to Dominique Genet in a major quarterfinal upset. France wins this battle 145-142. The next duel between the two Danes. Patrick Larson punched his ticket for Paris by taking Stage 2 in Antalya this summer. Now he would face his friend and teammate Martin Damsbo. Neither man thrilled about having to go head-to-head in the first round. C'est la vie. Late in this match, Larson's on the ropes, down by 2 and down to his last arrow. He makes it a good one to move ahead by 8. If Martin makes a mistake, Patrick might have a chance. But Damsbo delivers the knockout punch and wins this quarterfinal match by 2 points, 143-141. Just a month before in Poland, Sergio Pagny had to settle for the silver medal at Stage 4, dropping the gold medal match to Pierre-Julien Deloche. He would not have to wait long to return the favor. Not an easy task, not with a French naval officer on home soil. But a slow start would spell doom for Deloche, who could never get back into this battle. Sergio simply would not let him. Pierre would post a trio of 10s in the final end, but Pagny had all the answers this time. Mission accomplished for the great Italian champion, who would now advance to the semifinals.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pierre-Julien Deloche.
That was the same destination Min Liang had in mind when he got to Paris, but the Korean would have to walk on water to pull off a miraculous upset against America's Braden Gelantine. Guess what? He almost did. The second-ranked athlete in men's compound was down by 2 after 6 arrows, went up by 2 after 9 arrows, and had just enough of a cushion to hold off Min Liang. Gelantine actually needed a 9 as the officials would give the challenger 10 points on his second shot. So when all was said and done, this was a close call in the quarterfinals for Braden, who slipped by Min Liang by just 1 point, 148-147. The fans in France would have another chance to cheer for Dominique Genet. Their countrymen had fallen by 4 to Martin Damsbo in the semifinals, but now he had a shot at redemption in the men's bronze medal match. The disconcerting fact of the matter for Dominique, he was only 1-4 in head-to-head competition with Sergio Pagny. The pride of Italy, Pagny had come to the final hoping to win a gold medal for the 3rd time in 5 years. That dream died after a tough 2-point loss to Braden Gelantine in the semis. So a bronze medal would be the next best thing for Sergio, assuming he could once again get the best of his opponent. It was certainly going Sergio's way after 9 shots, Pagny patting his lead when Genet gave up 4 points in what would prove to be a critical third end. So Dominique had a mountain to climb and started his ascent with a bullseye. Pagny put his 4th straight shot in the center of the target to maintain the pace. The lead still at 4. Genet would drop another point after shooting a 9, since it was followed by another near-perfect shot by Pagny. Genet recovers nicely, but the damage is done. 10-10-10 for the surging Sergio Pagny, who now has a 5-point cushion after 12 arrows. With his wife Pia Leonetti in the coaching box behind him, Sergio could relax and enjoy this commanding lead, an almost insurmountable lead at this level of compound competition. But the show goes on for Dominique Genet, who musters up a 9 with his first shot of the final end. Now it's Pagny's turn to post a 9, but he's still fine, still on top by 5. The frustration building for the Frenchman, who shot a perfect score in Poland, hit the X in a shoot-off and still lost to Pagny. He can't mount a final charge. Sergio seems to sense this one is in the win column and can afford to be a little less than perfect at this point. Dominique does go out on a high note, his final shot dead center. But this was a case of too little, too late. Sergio Pagny adding to his own personal medal count as he puts the finishing touch on what turned out to be a comfortable 5-point victory in the bronze medal match. It was not the gold he came seeking in the City of Light, but life is good for the man from Tuscany. The happy couple celebrating another big win for one of the Star's biggest sports. The final score in this one, 147-142. Last but not least, not hardly, the main event for the men. The gold medal match would mark the third meeting of the World Cup season between the Great Dane Martin Damsbo and America's Braden Gelantine. Damsbo had not trailed at any point in his quarterfinal or semifinal matches and was on a good roll going into this golden moment. On the other hand, Braden had already had a close call against Min Leong and a real struggle with Sergio Pagny in the semis. So his path to the big stage had not been quite as smooth. But Braden was definitely battle-tested and ready for this third go-round with Damsbo. Let's fast forward past the first 6 shots, pick up the action with the score tied at 57. Gelantine goes first and fires a 9 that he would love to have back. Door is open now for Damsbo, but he doesn't take advantage. No harm done as far as Gelantine's concerned. Then again, there may be cause for concern after the American shoots another 9. Once again, though, Damsbo doesn't capitalize. So we're still square at 75 all. Gelantine's in a groove, but it's not the groove he wants to be in. He's left himself open, but Martin Damsbo cannot make him pay for that string of 9s, not when he's shooting the same scores. A confusing end comes to a close with neither man able to break away. We're tied at 84, but this is where it starts breaking bad for Braden. He can ill afford an 8, especially when Damsbo settles back in with a bullseye. So in the blink of an eye, Braden's down by 2. No need to panic. Gelantine gets tough and gets his groove back, and he's back within 1 after Damsbo delivers a 9. Now, had this next shot been just a bit lower, Braden would have really been back in business. It's just outside the 10 ring. Meanwhile, Damsbo's shot barely bites the line. It counts as a 9. He leads by 1 with just 3 arrows left in the quiver. Not exactly what Braden Gelantine had in mind. But now he has to come from behind against Martin Damsbo, who actually has 112 points, as the officials would turn that 8 into a 9. Braden comes out strong to start the 5th end, and the score is tied again after the Danish archer delivers a 9. Gelantine in good shape after yet another bullseye. But Damsbo's not going away, not by any stretch of the imagination. Neither is Gelantine, who is pumped up after his final shot puts all the pressure on Damsbo. It's 10 or go home. Looks like he'll be sticking around for a shoot-off. A clutch effort by both men means it all comes down to 1 extra arrow to decide a match that's every bit as much a mutual admiration society. Fresh target faces called for in a situation like this, since the arrow closest to the center decides the outcome. Braden gets a break by going first, but he can't cash in. Now his fate rests in the hands of Martin Damsbo, and the Great Dane's not about to let an opportunity like that pass him by. After losing to Braden to start the season in Shanghai, Damsbo turns the tables here in Paris on the defending World Cup champion. Considering his opponent, considering the setting, this is arguably the Great Dane's greatest victory.
Det var en
It wasn't pretty, but it was a really good match. None of us could find the 10 ring. I'm not sure why. Maybe we got tired. It had been a long day. But it was a really good match. Congratulations to Martin Damsbo and Alejandra Usquiano, as well as all who came to compete here in Paris at a World Cup final that will long be remembered.